Hey everybody, it's Gavin here. Time for another video blog. And I think what I wanted to do to start off this time is I first wanted to thank everybody who sent me messages and comments and feedback. You have no idea how appreciative it is. You know, sometimes when you write blogs or you do video blogs like this, you do take yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. And to do it and to stick all this stuff out there, nobody even responds, is sometimes disheartening. So it's everybody who sent in comments and sent in feedback to say that they enjoy the videos and they're enjoying listening to the messages. Thank you so much. It means a lot. But it got me thinking, and I guess this is the topic that I wanted to talk about this week, is how much of our success depends on what's up here in our own mindsets, and how much do we hold ourselves back? And I had a great example that came up to me this week. One of my good friends who actually used to work for me, his name's Simon Nicholson. You might even know Simon. He's a Remax real estate agent. He's up in Belito. He works in the Belito market. And he had to go and make a move out there. It was a life choice for him, so he ended up going and working in Belito. And I saw him the other day, and I said, "Hey Simon, how's things going?" And within 3 months, he's made 4 sales already. New market, new area. He's doing so well. But what he does so well is he taps into his circle of influence. He taps into his friends, family, and colleagues. And it's working so well for him. And then the other day, I saw on Facebook, he suddenly had a page called Simon's True North. Go and check it out on Facebook. And what I love so much about what he's doing is he's so authentic. He's telling his story, and he's being true to who he is. And so when I saw his messages, and I love the way he's branding himself, I love the way he's marketing homes for sale. He's telling a story about every client that he has, and he's making it so personal. And I sent him a message on the phone. In fact, I sent him a message this morning, and I said, "Hey Simon, congrats, bud." I said, it's really outstanding. I speak to my guys all the time about using stories, about being authentic, about having a real authentic Facebook or social media message that people can follow. And here you are doing it like almost textbook. And I was quite surprised in his reply. And he said to me, "Grant," he said, "you won't understand it." He said, "It's taken me 3 months to get to this point." 3 months to get to the point where he can actually be comfortable enough to put all this stuff out there. And I said to him, "Wow," I said, "I'm shocked because what you're doing is incredible." And he said, "No," but he said he had to get comfortable first before he could put this out into the social media space. And I must say, I knew exactly how he felt. Doing these things, I mean, doing these video blogs is quite daunting. I mean, you're literally staring at yourself in a camera. And I'm actually quite a conservative, shy person off camera. So for me to do this is stretching me out of my comfort zone. And when Simon said that to me, that it had taken him out of his comfort zone, I knew how he felt straight away. And I know how so many agents out there feel. When I say to our agents, I say, "Guys, you need to be branding yourself. You need to be finding an angle to make yourself stand out. You need to be standing out somehow on social media." And a lot of their responses are, "Well, I'm so worried about what other people are going to say." And isn't it so sad that we worry so much about other people and what they're going to say when all we're trying to do is be the best possible versions of ourselves that we can be? And so I continued my conversation with Simon. And it was just a very, very interesting take, because here I am seeing how somebody I think looks so authentic and is doing it so naturally, but he's battling just like you, every one of you battle before you start to do something different on social media that sets you apart. But we've got to stop all this. We've got to stop it. It's absolute rubbish. I think if you've got a great idea, it doesn't matter how good or bad it is. And when my agents come to me now and they say, "Grant, I've got this great idea. I want to do this for personal branding or that for personal branding," I don't care what the idea is. I don't care how silly it is. But if you're prepared to do something that sets you apart, something that people can look at and go, "Wow, I'll remember that person forever because they're different and they're doing something different," then you know what? Your marketing or your branding message is working. So let's all stop holding back. Let's stop waiting for ourselves to get out of our comfort zones. Because I tell you now, the biggest way to get out of your comfort zone is to actually take action. And when you start taking those steps and you do something for the first time, suddenly you realize, hey, it wasn't that bad. And then you start getting a little bit of feedback, and it starts to become quite a positive thing. And then you gain more confidence, and then you keep doing it. And I don't know if any of you guys have read my blog. If you go onto my website, grantgavin.com, there's lessons from a traffic light, where I actually put myself out on the street as a street beggar for the day. And I never gave it much thought. I just thought, well, I'm going to do it. I knew that I'd have great learning from it. And I knew that if I stood out there and begged for money for a couple of hours, it ended up being 3 or 4 hours, I knew that I'd learn so much and I'd grow so much as a person. But my biggest fear was, my biggest worry was, what are other people going to think? And I'll never forget the day that I was doing it. They had caked me in makeup. I was dressed in really terrible clothing. And a lot of people didn't recognize me. But when I walked out the office to suddenly start walking up Broadway, this incredible fear and almost insecurity, it was all my insecurities coming out. If you'd given me one good reason why I shouldn't have walked up that road that day, I probably would have quit. Because all these insecure feelings that I have, like, what if somebody sees me? What are they going to think? Or they think I'm being disrespectful. Oh, there's the Remax owner standing on the street begging for money. How pathetic is that? Those are all the things that were going through my mind. And I just decided to use a little bit of my own advice, and I just pushed through that barrier. And let me tell you, every single step I took up Broadway, and I know this sounds really silly, but every single step I took, I felt better. I felt more comfort. And by the time I got to the top of the road, I went and sat next to one of the street vendors who I'd befriended during the week. And I mean, he'd literally seen me the day before. And I sat next to him to have a chat. I thought, let me sit and chat to this guy and calm my nerves. And after a couple of minutes, I realized this guy had no idea who I was. In fact, he looked at me and said, hey, what do you want? And that's when I realized he didn't recognize me. So from that moment on, I went out, stood on the street, and it was an incredible experience. So how much of what we can achieve and how much of our success are we keeping back because of these thoughts that we put into our mind? And the two biggest things that people fear the most is fear of failure and fear of what other people think. How stupid is that? We're scared of what other people think about us, and we're holding ourselves back. So that's something to think about for the week. I hope you enjoyed.